Hey folks, welcome to today's live stream. I am not confident this will properly upload, but we will try anyway. Let's give it a whirl. Man, oh man, this is what happens when you are stuck in a tight compressing range and you have a bunch of overleveraged people. So when price volatility gets exceptionally low, like we have recently seen it do, occasionally you're going to get some pretty ridiculous price action, just like we saw today. Super swing high, super swing low, and then price just meanders on its way, as if absolutely nothing had happened. And what's kind of funny is our indicators kind of assume, well, nothing's happening because it is calculated on candle closes. And if you have calculations on candle closes, well, this just looks like a normal candle now, doesn't it? So, really the only way you're going to see this kind of volatility on your lower time frames is if you're on something crazy like the second charts, because then you're actually going to get candle closes proper. And let's actually go ahead and take a look at this price action on the 5-second chart, because why not? We have the data. And I'm kind of regretting this. I'm going to go up to 30 seconds. Excuse me. Okay. Nice. So we can actually look at this data. Not as exciting as I thought it would be. Oh, it's that way. Jesus. So you're telling me that on the 30-second chart, this still executed the way it did? Jesus. Do I have to go to a lower time frame? We could just... I want to clear these indicators, but okay, fine. It should free up some RAM. Good. Like, when you actually get down to these super small time frames, it becomes readily apparent that this price action was intentionally forced to be like this. Okay, so we're on the 1-second chart. And we're still getting this kind of volatility. I would like to look at this on several different Bitcoin pairings, because it's rather fascinating. Ah, yes, what is the pair that actually... I don't know. We have a... Is it the Big Mix chart? That would be intuitive. Because I'm using an average. No. It seemed to be exchange specific, but I don't know which exchange. That's good. Good thing I did my research before this live stream. Oh well. Well, it happened somewhere. Let's just do this. BTC USD. I doubt Coinbase would have liquidity problems. Well, I'm confused. All right. We're going to not upload this. And we're just going to talk about Bitcoin in terms of volatility theory. Because I don't know where that's coming from, and I should have done my research. Okay. Well, moving on. Anyway, the concept remains the same. Or if you have tight compressing price action, it's actually kind of interesting how well respected the trend lines as well. Yeah, those are super sloppy trend lines. I get it. But I'm kind of shocked that for having this kind of spiking, that we're staying inside the defined structures. Typically, if you get this kind of spiking, it's to attack pooled liquidity below and above said structure. And yet, we've had this high volatility spike completely inside. Maybe I should look at the YouTube comments. Maybe you guys know. Okay. Well, we'll pop out the chat anyway. See if you guys have anything interesting to say. Anybody who can tell me why this happened, I'll give you a cookie. Anyway, let's take a look at ACAT and see how it's behaving on lower time frames, because that's actually tradable information. I'm hesitant. No, we're just inside a compressing mean inversion condition based on the roughly the 30 period, so we're going to go to a lower time frame. We're getting more expansions and contractions from that. Basically, what I'm looking at is this sustained compressionary period based on the 180. It's technically completed, but it still seems to be holding. So we're going to load up that 180 period real quick. Because in theory, that should hold price action. Very nice. Yeah, catching the swing high and bouncing directly on the mean itself. The pair was cracking. Thanks, man. Okay. Yeah, well, never mind. Kraken always has problems with liquidity. There was a time where Bitcoin went to 0 on the USD CAD chart. Or I'm sorry, the BTC CAD. It's XBT. I don't remember. Okay, XBT CAD. Yeah, this is, there it is. Kraken has problems with liquidity. So like over here on the XBT CAD chart, like here's my philosophy. If you're going to have derivative pairs for Bitcoin on currency pairings, at least make it so that it's the main exchange of the country. Right, so if you're a Canadian exchange, then yes, you're going to have this XBTC CAD pairing. Or if you're a Korean exchange, you're going to have the XBT Korean Won pairing, right? But when you offer multiple currency pairings, it's really irrelevant just because of how not volatile currencies are. Stable, huh? That's what I was going for. Right, and then you end up with stuff like this because you're trying to be fancy, and it's not worth it. It really isn't. So that's Kraken's fault. Honestly, it might be worth my time to take Kraken out of this calculation and add a different exchange. Like we do Binance's USDT, but I'll figure it out later. I don't really have that many good predictions today. So that we're deep inside of a compressionary range with no implied direction and high potential energy, which kind of says when we break, we'll run, but I'm not sure which way we'll break. And that's not really tradable information now, is it? All right, because one of two things could happen. We could break out and we could run, or we could break out and fake out and then do the opposite. And I have very little predictive power onto which will actually happen until trend actually begins, or until we generate a mean inversion condition and expansion. Because once we actually start trending, I can define trend super nicely. And if we have a really nicely defined trend, then I can trade it. Right? Because anytime we have clear, clean expansions like this, this, and this, that's awesome. Clearly defined mean reversion pivots, easily tradable, where you have trend and then you have mean reversion, where you have trend and then you have mean reversion. So all we need to do is wait for trend, and then I can make accurate predictions. But this is chop. Bitcoin is doing chop trading. I do not want to trade the chop. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as I wait for something interesting to happen. That's it for today, folks. I know it's not very hopeful today, but I'll be honest, I can't read this kind of price action accurately because volatility theory, while it can define ranges with incredible power, typically it requires prior trend to do so. We don't have prior trend. We have lateral trading and compression on a macro time frame with compression ranges are okay on the daily chart. They just don't hold very long. All right, because the compression is actually happening on the lower time frames. So, like, yeah, we're getting compression range here and it's holding. Cool. As you can see, compression ranges can tend to really explode. Well, that's actually because of the absolute drop-off of volatility overhead. So anything after this line is an incorrect reading. All this here is incorrect. Because your CLCP is technically maxing out at that 600 period, so we would need to go to even higher time frame to get that accurate. And yeah, see, because you have no volatility overhead. This is all just potential energy. So we can't even get a good reading on it. Can you look at the link? Yeah, sure thing, man. Ooh. Man, when that bounces, it's going to bounce. I'm sure people are drawing this, but actually that's like a really classical. Let's take a look at a longer term chart. Is there one? There isn't. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, 2018. That's fine. It's kind of catching a falling knife, man. And while appealing, it is dangerous. Yeah, ACAT's technically giving an implied mean reversion, but it's all just volatility overhead from converse expansion. So really, the only thing you can do is look at lower time frame trends and define the channel properly. Right, because it's probably going to be incorrect, but not bad. Let's make it line up. Yeah, we're going to cheat a bit. It's fine. We don't have to do the exact wick. Oh, well, you know what? Let's put the effort in. Boom, baby. Accurate pitchfork. Yeah, okay. We could bounce. It's a good profit ratio. Link does have a propensity for following trend lines. Somewhat accurately. Channels. You know what we could do? We could define the mean reversion on the shorter time frame. Because then I'll have a good position. And that's apparently quite the buy wall. Because ACAT's going to load that perfectly. So if you get a trend defining pivot on this, I am game. Come on. Pretty appealing. Yeah, our bullish pivot is currently 6% away. So you could technically enter now and have a stop below the local low, but your safer bet is entering along above 16,161. Okay. All right, that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one.